You know what the greatest and the most evil devil in our life is? There are two of them, and their names start from P and from F. However, no matter how harmful they are to our life, we still become best friends with these evils, which is the root to all of our problems. So take a moment to think about what these devils could possibly be. Let's see if you know your devils or not. Welcome to another episode of Mind Over Matter with Sankit. In this episode, we'll be talking about one of the two devils. So, let me reveal it to you. I'm talking about the past and the future when I refer to as the devil. In this episode, we'll be talking about how the past is very harmful to us and how it cripples us and rips off opportunities from us. Is thinking about the past ever justified? Yes, I say ever with an emphasis because here's a deep thing that you need to understand. Generally, we know that regrets are bad. We know that regretting doesn't help, and we also know that thinking about the past isn't going to change the outcome. But still, we tend to do it. That's a habit that we have established since an early age, and that can actually be removed. That is what meditators practice today. That is exactly what meditators practice today. They practice detaching from any events in the past by paying attention to the exact present moment. Now, by past moment, what do I mean here? This starts all the way from your childhood. If your childhood didn't go the way you wanted it to, if your attention went to all the wrong things, if your attention was focused in something that you do not like right now, you tend to regret because you start thinking to yourself, what if I had done this and not done this? I would have reached to a better position in life had I not done this. But you are not really sure and certain of what would happen if the conditions were different. You never know. Whatever happened probably happened for your best, because had it been otherwise, it could have been even more dangerous for you. So you see where this is getting, right? There are infinite possibilities of things that could happen if your past turned out differently. So there is no point thinking about the distant past. What about immediate past? Let's take the worst case scenario. Say you're crippled by some disease, and say this happened very spontaneously, or say you get into an accident. At such times, we tend to think, only if I had not done this, I would not have gotten into this accident. But this immediate regretting is as harmful as regretting about the distant past. Because in either case, there is nothing you can do that can change the outcome. The only thing that you do by worrying is waste even more time and creating even more things to regret about. In this way, you enter this vicious cycle of sadness and anxiety because first of all, you are sad about what has happened. First of all, there is no acceptance towards whatever is happening to you, which is the most harmful thing, as we've discussed in almost all of our videos. And in addition to that, you're not able to move on and you're not able to accept it, partly because of your ego, because your ego doesn't want to accept that you are suffering. But take this time to detach yourself from your identity, because generally it is your ego being hurt because some unfortunate event has happened. But when you zoom it out, when you look at it from an eagle-eye perspective, does that really matter? Think for yourself. Whatever you classify as a very unfortunate event today might not even matter in the next 5 years. Hence, it is very important that you have an objective perspective in life. Generally, what we do is that we look at every event from a subjective perspective and we start making stories inside our head. If some good event happened in the past, we spend time continuously thinking about it and just enjoying the thought of it. But at the present moment, you're basically being unproductive and you're not doing things to make your life even better. Similarly, if you go through a very sad incident, it is kind of justified for you to feel sad for a short while. That is perfectly human. But then you need to understand when you cross the limits, and hence and actively realize at what point you go over the board. You need to be realistic in life because life is not always a bed of roses. You'll certainly have to face adversities. They are just inevitable. You just cannot avoid them at all. So what is the best that you can do on your behalf? What you can do on your behalf is to simply accept whatever happens. Now you might say, Sanket, how do I accept very unfortunate events? Yes, you've got to accept it because there's just no other choice. Had you been able to change the outcome by regretting, we could regret 24/7, we could regret all day because it would change the outcome. But since it doesn't, this is an important thing to realize. We generally overlook this thing. We're so stuck up on our emotions that we do not really care, even if we're being irrational. All we want to do is victimize ourselves and convince ourselves that we are sad and that we are unfortunate, and we try to seek sympathy from other people. However, all of this is totally pointless, totally futile. So this is something that you can practice in everyday life. At every moment, try to bring your focus to the present moment. I know it's very, very difficult. No one has perfected it. I know it is very difficult to focus on the present moment at every time because at every moment we're seeing a lot of visions around us, and we humans are story makers because no matter what we see, we try to make up our own story inside our head, and we do not even know where we reach in this non-stop train of thought. So you do not really need to be hard up on yourself. Try to bring back your focus to the present moment every time you find yourself wandering in your thoughts. You do not really need to be harsh to yourself and rude to yourself and regret this as well. So it is really funny how even in noticing this, your regret takes its position. So you can see how strongly the regret of past is stored as a habit in our brain, because we are not even kind to our own brain, which by its nature is very active and will certainly have a lot of thoughts. So all you need to do in this practice is to just try to bring your focus to the present moment as much as possible. One thing that can aid you with this is focusing on your breath, because your breath is the only thing which always links you to your present moment and helps you let go of the past as well as the future, which I'll be talking about in the next video. If you like this video, do not forget to press the like button. Also, if you like whatever is happening here at Sound Health Solution, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time.